BLASTMUSIC247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Hey y'all! Happy Tuesday. I almost said Monday because it's been it's been busy. Okay, be so busy that I might want to go back to Monday real quick. Okay, out the gate, let's start with some gratitudes. Thank you to BLASTMUSIC247 for being my podcast home. I love it here. Even though my lovely VP is not on deck today, so I'm gonna whine a little bit, but I'm gonna push the buttons. I'm excited about that. Thank you to Sunshine Cromwell of Shine Vibrations. If you have not checked out Shine Vibrations, which is also a part of BLASTMUSIC247, what you waiting on? Come on and be a part of this fun that we get into. Yeah, so today we are straight up having a conversation about domestic violence awareness, and not only just awareness, because I feel like many people are completely aware that domestic violence and domestic partner violence exists. I really don't think that's a super secret, right? For anyone who's at least trying to pay attention, all right? That's an adult, let's say it like that. Beyond that, it is my heart, my goal and efforts to create solutions. This is something that we can solve. This is not an enigmatic occurrence. We know it's happening. We know the factors behind why it happens. We know the results of when it happens, and then the after effect, the affects beyond it, not just for the people who are involved in the relationship or living in the household, but for those who are attached to them as well, doing life together. So there's ripple effect. That's a very simple way to say it. Yes, we're going to have a conversation about it. No, we're not going to do it quietly because it doesn't warrant that. Welcome to October's DV Live conversation. Tonight, I have some guests because I will not be talking about this by myself. So you are about to meet some wonderful, wonderful humans. I'm going to bring these wonderful humans up. And when I bring you guys up, please introduce yourself. If there's something that you'd like to offer as far as your business is concerned, do that. And then tell people how to get in touch with you. And it just occurred to me, I'm going to wait for that a little bit before I do the other thing. So let's go ahead and get into this conversation. Ladies first. Oh. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Okay, that's mad better. I can hear you good. Okay. Please introduce yourself and just about 30 seconds of what you like the listeners to know about you.
Hi, so my name is Mary Collado. And first things about me is I'm a hardcore believer in Jesus Christ. Means I love people too. Not just one of those religious that have a heart for the young ladies and in healing and coaching to an extent, but more hands in hand, one-on-one. I'm a one-on-one type of person.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's get some men's on the stage. Scott Harrell, please do. And you guys recognize Scott. He hangs out with us. So go ahead, Scott. 30 seconds of you, please.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me to your platform tonight. Scott Harrell, owner and founder of Harrell Consulting Group, a business consulting consulting firm specializing in business funding, and also co-founder of Partners in Rhyme Poetry Collective.
I am the other half of that co-founder.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Very
Douglas. True. Please introduce yourself in 30 seconds of you.
Yeah. Douglas Kelly. 3-year friend of Scott and Melikia, and I've met Melikia in person. I know Scott has as well. So I am a multifaceted person. I started a company doing website design and marketing 22 years ago. So if you need any of those types of things, please reach out to me at Douglas M, as in Michael, Kelly, Kelly, @gmail.com. You can find me on Clubhouse. You can find me on Insta as Mollusk, Mollask, if you want to Insta me there. And I also do a little bit of voice acting. And Scott talked me into writing poetry like 2 months ago. And so I'm doing that now too. Thank you, Scott. And I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So here we are. I'm passing the mic back. Take it away, Melikia.
Thank you. Awesome. And I do see that Lisa has arrived. I'm waiting for whatever's going on technically to work itself out, and then I'll invite her up. So we do have one more person joining us. And let's hop into the conversation. And it kind of looks like, it is my estimation that everybody knows about DV, but I'm always curious to hear how anyone defines it for themselves. So this is like straight conversation. Get in where you fit in. Do not be shy and do not be quiet, because I will part the waters if I find that you hiding out and not really participating. I'll part the waters on you. But you guys tell me, what is your own definition? If you were to have to define domestic violence or domestic partner violence, what would you say?
So I have grown, and I believe I've heard you use it before. I've grown to dislike the term domestic violence and domestic partner violence because it is too narrow, in my opinion. Okay. And it allows some people who have experienced things, it gives them more room to be able to say, well, that's not happening to me, so this must not be a problem. I prefer domestic partner abuse, which would also encompass violence. And the reason for that is because just because you haven't been hit doesn't mean you haven't been hurt. I have experienced the spectrum of these things. And while on the lesser end of the violence, the other ends of abuse, whether or not it be mental, financial, verbal, and such, over a longer period of time. And while I don't necessarily want to create a whole, men versus women thing, I think it's harder for some people to even accept the label of abuse from a victim standpoint, or from something that has happened to you standpoint. Period. When you're looking at all the options of how you could rationalize what it could be, and also the role that you may have played, the self-blame. So I think I'll just land there because there are plenty of other people here.
Well, you brought up an interesting thought. When it comes to making that distinction between abuse and violence, that's curious. Yeah, that's a very curious distinction. So I'm going to let that be curious and let us think about that while someone else picks up that question. And go ahead and give me your definition of what domestic violence is.
It's funny that Scott had said that, because as I was kind of looking into domestic violence, because I kind of forget bad things that happened to me, and I am the person to just move on or just try to suppress it in some weird form, but I'm learning it's not healthy. So so I had to go back to memory lane and be like, did I ever encounter domestic violence? And I sure did, and I can't believe I almost forgot. By my daughter's father, which at the time was a police officer, and it got really scary really quickly. Not to go into too much detail.
And we'll let you breathe. So we're gonna let you breathe on the story, because we'll get to the stories in a little bit. And
I won't go into details, but to get to the point here, it's interesting. It's kind of like what Scott was saying. There's kind of layers to it
Yeah.
to some extent,
Mhm.
and you hear like the really drastic stories, but then you hear like the little gray areas that nobody really talks about because you don't know where to categorize it.
Yeah, I respect that. And you guys welcome Lisa to the stage. Hey, Lisa, how are you? We see you waving and I see your mouth moving, but I can't hear your beautiful voice yet.
Yes.
There
Hello,
we go.
everybody.
Hey,
I'm so
gorgeous. Oh,
sorry.
it's so good to see you. No apologies unless you farted with the
Yeah.
mic open. That didn't happen. We don't apologize around here. Same Porsche rules applies.
Yes.
So the question on the
Okay.
floor, what's the definition? What's your definition of domestic violence or domestic abuse? It's a term of the way Scott said.
Domestic abuse, I would say for me is like how I look at it. Yeah, the way I see domestic abuse, I see it as you're in a relationship with someone and they don't have emotional intelligence, no emotional maturity, and they're talking to you like you're beneath them, as if you don't have the knowledge that they have, or you don't comprehend the things that they comprehend, like you're inadequate to do things. That's abusive, because what it does is it tampers with your mental state, your emotional state, your spiritual state, and sometimes your financial state, because now you're going out to look for help for things that they're saying when really it's just them, and that's just abuse. The violence comes in when they put their hands on you. I think
Okay.
I would say for domestic violence, from my experience of domestic violence, is when a man put his hands in your face as if you're a punching bag, and you're really not. And you're not going to bounce back from that. Your face probably looks like it's bouncing back, but it's really not. And when they put their feet on you like you're a dog, or when they spit on you, to me, that's violent. That's domestic violence, because this is your partner. We're in this domestic relationship and you're choosing violence, but you're not choosing it in the world. You're choosing that violence with me. So I receive the brunt of, if the world pisses you off, then you're going to come back home. And I'm not only the punching bag, but I am the punching whiteboard. I'm the punching corkboard. I'm the punching
Mercy.
shower curtain and things of that nature. So to me, personally, violence is when they put their hands on me, and abuse is when they say the words that they know can really cause detriment to me, or for that. Like in the domestic abusive and violent relationship that I was in, they were able to use words and physical, use their hands and things like that. And I didn't like it. And I think the violence came in because I learned how to ignore really, really good. And I learned how to protect my tears really, really good. So it was some of those. So I got two good black eyes because I was able to protect my tears and my pain. And I think being in that domestic violence relationship, it taught me how to have a high tolerance for pain. So you punch me in the face, it didn't bother me, because I got so used to the strength of the licks that it was just like I had this poker face. And so having a poker face made him even angrier. So sometimes it would be like, I'll never forget an incident when he tried to hit me with a fan and then hit the light little thingy that was on the light to protect the light, whatever they call them, little things.
Shade.
The little shade, not the shade, the ones that you gotta
Oh, a globe? Like a globe,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like the globe that's going over the light. So the fan hit
Sure.
that and it shattered and it cut him in the face. And it, instead of it hitting me, it shattered and cut him in the face. And as he's bleeding and he frustrated with me because I still got this poker face, he just took all the blood that was dripping on him and just wiped it all over me, as if it was going to do worse than what he was already doing. And I'm like, when he got through doing it all, and I'm like, you want me to go ahead to the bathroom and get this gauze so you can stop this bleeding, or is we going to the hospital? Because I'm still not going to cry. So we can go and get this taken care of, because I had got used to the violence, and I got used to the abuse. So I'll just step out my body every time I
Okay.
know when the first lick came. I would just step out my body like, oh, this is about to happen. Oh, okay, let me go.
Jeez, we're gonna have us a whole one-on-one on this one in another show, because that point right there. Oh my God, it is so freaking true. When you hit that switch, like, all right, I see what you own. What you'll never see is me cry. So I understand that. I do want to give Douglas an opportunity to answer that question. How do you define domestic violence or domestic abuse?
So for me, the violence, just like Lisa and Scott, the violence is physical. Abuse can happen, just like Lisa said, emotionally, monetarily, sexually, verbally, all of those things. But to me, violence happens physically, whether that's blood being drawn, bruises being garnered, and I had both in my relationship of 32 years, and I would wake up bruised in the morning, going, "What the hell did she do to me?" And I mean, Malika, you, Scott, and I talked this week about that. It's as a man, you don't talk about that. You don't get to be abused. You're supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be able to handle anything, you know? And that's how I lived my life, was taking the abuse from her. And she wasn't a little woman. Well, at the end of our relationship, she was 5'8", 200 pounds. And she could pack a wallop, you know? And so that's the definition for me, the difference between the two. Violence is more of a physical nature in my mind, but abuse can happen at many different levels. And it can be, physical abuse, but that's where the next word comes in, the violence. So I'll pass the mic back.
So would you guys be surprised to know? Because I'm going to look it up. I'm going to go get a dictionary out, and we're going to talk about this dictionary effect. To use to bad effect or for a bad purpose. To misuse. Second definition. Treat with cruelty or violence, especially regularly or repeatedly. The improper use of something, cruel and violent treatment of a person or an animal. Do you guys, which word would you guess that I just defined for you?
Abuse.
Flat out. Flat out. Abuse. And it's bananas. Like I'm listening to the bits and pieces of the stories that you guys are sharing of what has happened to you all. Like literally everyone sitting on this stage is a survivor. We have all been through it, and we have all made it on the other side, to the tune of thank you God. Like to the straight up tune of thank you God. Because I love how you said that out the gate, Mary, that you are a serious, for real believer. And I know that for you, it was nothing but God that got you through the things you got through. So what I did do was I had grabbed some questions, and when I went to go look up when I went to go look for the definition, I bumped it out. Here we go. So can you describe the moment you first realized that your relationship had become unsafe? And I started with that question after asking you guys to define it for yourselves, because sometimes we don't know. Like sometimes we're in a thing, we're in a relationship, we're learning how to couple, and maybe we saw our parents who did it the best that they could, but maybe their best absolutely sucked, and that's okay too, right? We're adults now. We've lived past it, so now the onus is on us to figure it out. But each of you, can you describe like that moment where you had your aha, your light bulb, like this might be abuse? Oh, don't make me call on you like
All
we
right,
ain't
I'll go first. I'll go first. For
Go ahead.
me, it was in a couples counseling therapy session when the therapist turned to me and said, "Why haven't you divorced her yet?" and then relate why, because she was abusive to me. And, I had felt it, it hurt, whenever she was verbally abusive, financially, like Lisa was talking about, abusive. She wouldn't contribute to the partnership, the marriage financially. We
You
had
guys have kids
sex.
involved.
Yeah, 3 kids, 3 grown kids that I adore, and that's the only thing good that came out of that marriage, other than learning how to build a house and all the other things that I learned how to do in that marriage. But it was me doing those things, not necessarily a part of the marriage. But
Okay.
yeah, having 3 kids and trying to not show them who she really is or was, trying to
Mm.
hide that from them. Um, because I didn't want them to see their mom in a bad light. So I think a lot of people, men and women, try to hide abuse from the people
Yeah.
around them.
Facts.
And, it's, I felt like I lived a duplicitous life the entire time I was with her.
Oh,
And this time apart from her, you Scott, Melikia, you know this. I am in a very happy place, not necessarily living how I want to, not
understood.
necessarily, doing what I want to do or being where I want to be, but I think you guys know me and how happy I am right now.
You sound way better.
So,
I'll tell you that. That sounds
I'm
like
I'm
you
I'm
sound way better.
apart from that abuse, and once you can break away, it doesn't matter what your life is like anymore. It doesn't matter how you live. If it's on the streets, in a house that you have to rebuild, whatever it might be, when you're away from that, it's just uplifting. And
That peace
Mary,
is
my faith,
priceless.
yeah, my faith in God has grown
That's
in
what's
these
up.
last years. So, I'm sorry, I can hog the
No, I
mic.
appreciate that.
I can. So I'm gonna pass
I'm
it.
gonna take the mic back, but I appreciate what you shared, and it's fun to let you guys organically speak because the truth of the matter is that part of the conversation needs to be said too. People need to understand that there is life after domestic violence, there's life after domestic partner abuse, and better can come when we choose it. When we choose it, regardless of how difficult it is. And the question is, back up, who's next?
So, for me, there was a different trigger,
Okay.
because I had accepted, um, uh, I was dying, if not dead, inside already.
Mm.
And
Already at what point? This is when you're coming to understand that it was abuse, or
well,
because the question is more like, what was the moment where you realized that this was abuse?
so things were now washing over me. Like, I was not being phased by what was done to me anymore because my mind was already made up that I was checking out you know, at some point from I'm pretty much done. And she could see that she wasn't affecting me the way she once did. So then she focused on my middle son. And it was at that point that parental that you're it's one thing to do to me, you're not going to do to my son. And the things that I should have engaged for myself, which I didn't, I immediately engaged for him because I'm not going to let this happen. And I'm going to be honest. Even now, the conversations, the thoughts. Yes, I agree, but there's a certain clinical, if you would. There's a certain almost, even now, arm's length. But as those things escalated because of how I chose to protect my son, I could really begin to see, what I should have also been doing for me all along. And
So you didn't recognize or you didn't label it abuse until you saw those behaviors shifted to your kid.
I, you know, could I say I understood it as abuse or this? It's one thing to understand it as such. It's another thing to respond and react to it. You know,
Because sometimes people don't. Like some people, sometimes it's just like this person's an a-hole, or they just mean spirited. You know, some people are just nasty spirited and hellish, and I termed some people like they just hellish. That was, you know, how I would say you just guys, you play with demons. I'll even say it like that sometimes, right? But when the truth of the matter is, if we move into a common language, the person was abusive, right? Abusive in their being, abusive in their nature, abusive in how they handle life and behaviors and the folks around them. But I can say that that distinction, you know, that light bulb, if you will, didn't turn on brightly until I started to really think it through. So that's what I was more kind of wondering when you were sharing that. But I do appreciate you sharing what you did share. Mary, and Lisa. Lisa did answer it already. Go ahead, Mary.
I realized that it was something. Domestic violence when he blacked out. When he blacked out, and it took a whole lot to get him back. But yeah, that's when there was things leading to it, but yeah.
That's when you had your moment of flashlight. Okay, loud and clear, understood. Lisa, did you answer that question? Nope, you didn't. So when was can you tell me what the first moment in the relationship that you realized that it was abuse?
When I realized it was abuse or violence. The abuse.
Either way, because to me, the violence fits all underneath it. So you choose your word, violence or abuse. It both fit to me.
So the violence came first.
Okay.
I think I got a slap for asking a question, and it caught me off guard. And I'm like, I shook it off and dismissed it, and then the verbal abuse came, and then the violence came as well. But I wasn't aware of it at first because, you know, you think, oh my God, maybe this was just a reflex from, you know, a statement. You know, I'm not thinking. I'm like, this is not possible.
Were you young? How old were you? Because I shouldn't ask that question. How old were you when you got into that relationship?
18.
Baby, how old were you, Mary, when you got into your relationship?
21. That's when I had my daughter. My daughter.
Okay.
Yeah,
Scott?
I had just got my first apartment.
Oh, baby. Yeah. How old were you?
Mid-20s.
And Douglas, how old were you?
I was 19, but I knew my ex-wife at 14. We went to high school together. We weren't high school sweethearts or anything like that. It happened after high school, but yeah, we got involved at 19.
Okay, so you young folks that are catching this, listen closely. This is your buyer beware manual, because we are literally having a conversation about domestic violence awareness and then solutions, because we don't want to just talk about it quietly. We want to have this conversation out loud and just kind of give clues. Like, age don't matter. You see all these beautiful shades of skin on this stage. Your skin color don't matter. Violence and abuse is not discriminatory. Like, it is not just one culture. It's just really not. So that was your first question. Okay, the seeking help. So raise your hand if you saw some help. Anybody? Did we go get the helps? I went to go get the helps. Did y'all go get the helps? Anybody go get the helps? I'm talking therapy. I'm talking passive deacon doctor. I'm talking
for the therapy,
professional.
For domestic violence.
Heck yeah! As a result of,
I never went to therapy. I think after a while, I think he, after a couple of hits, I think he clicked the crazy button.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Were you participating?
Oh yeah, no. I didn't participate until the very end.
Okay.
I moved into another apartment.
Mhm.
Somehow or another, somebody I knew told them where I was at.
Girl, stupid
And
people. Go ahead.
and he came, and I actually, like a dummy, like a fool, naive, I let him in. But my words was, "You're not gonna put your hands on me here. Like, I got away. You can't put your hands on me here. This is my safe space." And I was safe for like 2 months. I was safe for like 2 months. And then I think he slapped me, and I hit him back. And it was over. It was up and stuck from there, because I don't even think I was Tina Turner in that movie. I think I was more along the lines of Harley Quinn.
Oh,
I laughed the whole time, like, and he balled up in the corner, and all I was trying to do, I was really trying to kill him, and I couldn't get to nothing.
allegedly. Uh-huh.
Yeah, allegedly. I couldn't get to nothing. I couldn't get to nothing that was stick. Like, he was making sure I couldn't get to that kitchen, because I'd have definitely made sure that I hit him in the jugular and hit him in the heart. Like, yeah, I'd have made sure you bled out in this apartment. But before he left, he had a busted nose, fat lip,
Hey,
black eye.
quit confessing on my show. Quit confessing. You did none of that.
Oh, no, he did none of
He
that.
fell down.
Allegedly.
Fell. He
He fell
fell
down a
and
few
hit
times.
he fell and hit his
Quit
head on the
confessing.
side of the windowsill, and then he
This
fell
Unhealthy.
again, and he had hit his head. He hit his head on the door, and then before he left out, he ended up, something happened, and he ended up with like a kind of footprint on his back. But I don't know how that happened either.
Don't call me in for witness testimony, because I can't help. I can't help.
I'm being honest. I didn't go get help, but I think after a while,
you get tired. You get tired. And
yeah, I got tired.
we laughing, but here's the seriousness of
Yeah.
it. You know, the seriousness of it is the truth. When it comes to staying or continuing in the relationship, like, I love what you're sharing, just what's coming out organically, because this is the marker. When you choose to stay, it definitely can go that way. I don't know what it is. Somebody that gave their baby the phone, and their baby is just blowing up the messages. Absolutely lovely. But it's a we welcome babies. Hilarious. However, Miss Anna Vang, paging Anna Vang, your baby got your cell phone and is blowing up the chat. Okay, great. It's a warning. It truly is a warning, because, and you and I have similar story, Lisa. If I had left, if I had not have stayed and began to participate in the word wars or any of the foolishness, you know what I mean? We would not have, I don't know, because he was on special needs programs, but at least in that, I don't know that we would have come to a point where he got bold enough, because it grew. It didn't start off with him being abusive or violent. Absolutely not at all. But he got comfortable. And I giggle when you said 2 months. I'm like, that must be the key. Folks get comfortable about 2 months when they think it's loaded and locked and glued in. Now they're going to show themselves for real. Mm-hmm. And the act out was ridiculous. And the act out continued to the point, it progressed to the point where he decided I needed to die by his hands. So he verbalized it. I'm going to unalive you. That's exactly what he didn't say those words. He said the other words, the real ones. And then he tried to do so. So these are your warnings. This is your awareness moments. This is your opportunity. 1-800-799-SAFE. If you are hearing these things and they're sounding altogether too familiar, baby, that's abuse and violence. And that is not healthy. It is not safe. We're having the alive conversations. All of us are alive to have this conversation.
Yes.
Back out. I do have some dearly departed friends who are unalived by their partner. So they are not able to come and join us for this conversation. Did you get it?
So is unalive the new word?
Unalive is the word I can say without them shutting down my channel. Okay, great.
Oh, is that why they saying unalive now? Yeah. Okay, I'm like, what is wrong with these words? Okay, okay.
They do a lot. Sure. And what blows me is people can't tell the truth no more. That is the truth of what happened.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm trying to figure out, like, unalive, ain't that?
Don't like it no more, but we're gonna give it to you. What's up, Scott?
No, I was, blaming social media for word change, but yeah, I'm following everything.
This censorship is crazy.
Grapes. Yes, it is. These babies.
To answer your question, unless you're moving on.
No, go ahead.
For me, I do therapy about once a month, hoping to pick that up more often. But, for better and worse, and I'll explain why worse, I'm very thankful. I had at least one person I could confide in during these times who is experienced in this area and emotionally supported me as I went through and gave me guidance in some of the things that I should consider doing. I say for better and worse because at the same time, and I'm sure Douglas would agree, men, we don't talk. We don't lean on people when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I'm saying this with all due respect to women. I'm not saying I assume to know everything, but from a man's perspective, we don't talk. And there's a part of me that felt and still feels somewhat guilty of all that I unloaded, and there are other parts of me that
All
feels
that you unloaded. English that for me?
The things that I felt I burdened that friend with that
Oh.
I probably should have taken more to professionals, or other sources. And then there was a part of me that felt like that, as a dude, I should have been able to carry that myself or break under the weight, So
isn't that some crazy training? Because we're trained. You need to be strong. Whether it's women or men, you need to be a strong woman. You need to be a strong man. Chin up, champ, keep it moving. Like we have a whole lot of forward-facing encouragements, and I do believe in them. I think they're necessary and they have their place. And at the same time, we really got to get better about telling ourselves and our children the flipping truth. And the truth is sometimes this shit gets heavy. It's too heavy. And when it comes to domestic violence and abuse, it's already too heavy. Once it's graduated to that point, it's too heavy. It's too heavy for one person to handle by themselves. It's the isolation. I did a couple of lives. If you guys haven't caught my lives on Facebook or Instagram, go ahead and go run back them last two and engage in those conversations as well, because there were a lot of more tips and tools shared there and clarity, because this is a conversation of bringing that awareness and solutions so that we're not just talking about it, we're doing something about it. Like, this is us offering you an opportunity to pay attention and do some assessing. Simple. Pay attention and do some assessing. Scott, what you were sharing about burning your friend, thank God you had a friend.
Yeah,
Period.
I do.
Thank God. Because it's something when you've been isolated, when you've been threatened. There's certain people, no, not a word, there were folks, even when I was growing up, I was a straight up kid, and then this young lady story and the stuff that went on with her, off the chain. That what goes on in the house stays in the house. That right there, that has killed a lot of spirits and lights and lives. So if you were in a household where you heard that, what happens in this house stays in this house. Well, I'm going to encourage you to start having some conversations about what the hell happened in the house, because sometimes it's just a matter of privacy, and people don't need to know all your business. I get that as a parent, right? Because you don't want your children off giving out your social security number. But at the same time, when I talked about this earlier in the week, the children suffer. The children suffer, and they suffer a lot more quietly than the adults, because they are kids. They don't have language, data, lexicon on how to communicate the hell that they're experiencing watching the parents play Rock'em Sock'em robots. You know what I mean? So that's how
I will say this as a parent of 3 adult children, that they are all happy that we're not together anymore. So they were able to perceive some of what went on. Even though I tried to hide as much as I could, they did see us fighting
Them kids ain't playing. They do.
verbally. But all three have told me that they're happy that we're not together anymore.
Thank God.
So there's that. I mean, that's a positive, I guess.
Oh, okay, I'm just gonna say messages. And I agree, it is a positive. One of the best things that my brother ever said to me that I thought was absolutely it was loving. He sat me down. This is when I was still married to a dude, right? He was like, listen, come here, come here, come here. That's his thing. Come here, come here, come here. Sit down. So we sit down and we have this mystical, amazing conversation. He's like, y'all miserable. Miserable. And what do miserable, this is why he said it, what do miserable as parents create? Miserable as kids. And what do miserable as kids do? They grow up to become miserable as adults and then go mess up somebody else's life. And I laughed because it was funny because he's truly a funny comedian the way he said it. But it was a very true statement. It was a very true statement. These kids are not blind. They are not, kids are the nosiest things on the planet. They are very curious. They're going to find out, they're going to listen, they're going to get them details, bro. And to the best of their ability, they're deciding life based on what they've been exposed to, what's happening to them as well, because we have I'm hoping to get a particular guest on the show soon. And when the parents are the abuser, because like domestic partner abuse, right, but domestic violence, and that's how I define, as I say it clearly, domestic violence, when I hear that topic, to me it doesn't just belong in a romantic relationship. To me, that is a full-on freaking umbrella for all of it, including the children being abused, right? So that's important to say. And it's also important to offer that number again, 1-800-799-SAFE. And if you are in that position, if you're dealing with that predicament, get help. 88788. You can text that same hotline, get help. Reach out to me, get help, because that's like literally, that's rule number one. Don't die. And how do you do that? By opening your mouth. I know everybody, I had to open my mouth. So I'm guessing everybody in here opened their mouth to somebody and said something. Even if it was to that partner, like, I'm out, or leave me alone, or 911, whatever it took to get your peace, or ran for your life. You know what I mean? I respect it. Whatever you guys did to get out of those situations, I respect you and have zero judgment in it. And I'm glad you all got out. Like, that's good news to me. What advice would you give to someone who might be going through a similar situation but has yet to seek help? And we'll take it from the bottom to the top. Douglas?
So therapy for the marriage didn't contribute to the marriage, but it did help me find a way to live my life better.
Okay.
To learn how to be a better Douglas, and so that was helpful for me. And therapy is something, Scott talked about it as well, that can help your mind, your energy, focus in a better possible place. So the other thing that Scott talks about that I agree with is find a friend that you can talk to. You have to offload this. But I mean, if you don't always have that friend, but if you can find that friend, I actually lost a friend because I was relying on him. He had gone through a divorce, and I was hoping that he could help me through mine, and he was unable to. He reached a point where he was unable to do that. So it is possible that you can impart too much information on a friend. So it's got to be somebody that's strong. And it sounds like Scott had a really good friend to help him through that. But if you can offload a parent, a sibling, somebody to get some of it off your chest. And as you talk through what you're going through, it often helps you work through what you're going through. It helps you refocus and better understand what it is you're living through. So just being able to verbalize it, and I mean, if you can write it down. I mean, I've written a book about the last 2 years of my life. I started writing poetry, and I'm spitting it out there just to get it off my chest. So you gotta find a way to get it out. Just get it out of yourself. So that's. I'm sorry, I went way too long, but
No, I
that's
love that. That literally, and it's so cool. It lets me know that you guys are listening when we are on Mastermind. Thank you, God. So it's like, okay, yay. And I'm gonna pass it backwards to you, Lisa. What advice would you offer? Oh, baby, we don't hear you.
I realize that. To a person that's in a domestic violence relationship,
Yep.
if I be honest, I have a friend that's dating a guy that hits her, and I tell her, how do you say, I don't want to say the inappropriate word, because I say a statement like, if you want to just say that. And she'd be like, don't say that. I'll be like, how else could you possibly, what else do you possibly want to do if you don't want to, I mean, you stand in a situation that you know is going to take you there, or take you to Eden. Hey, I'm going to use that.
There we go.
You messing with a situation
Take you to Eden. Did you say take you to Eden? I'm done. Go ahead.
Will take you to Eden, and you don't care. All you see is this Judas, and it's just driving you insane, and you engulfed and locked into him. So if you want to go to Eden, just say that. And that's basically what I say. If you want to go to Eden, just say that. And I'm like, I tough love her because I have to, because his kids involved. And so I let her know, like, look, drop the kids off when he drinking.
Oh.
Because don't nobody feel like you. I don't want you to call me with that foolishness. So just in case you go to Eden, the kids are safe with me. She like, stop saying that.
Mercy.
Just in case you go to Eden, the kids are safe
Mercy.
with me. And so she don't like when I say that. So
mercy.
Here lately, she'll come and visit me, but he won't argue with her. He won't touch her. He won't do nothing in front of me, because he tell her, your friend, she's super spiritual, but she still ain't wrapped too tight. That's one of them spiritual nutcases. And I'm like, try to be the best at everything I can be. Because
I got you on that.
I will put hands on him. Like, I put hands on him. Like, he got about 10 stitches to prove. Don't touch her in front of me, my dude.
Allegedly. Quit confessing on my show.
Allegedly. I know. I'm sorry, Scott. I'm sorry.
There's a former cop in this room. Just saying.
Allegedly, he has a permanent tattoo.
Brava. Like, knock it off. And
I'm
I don't condone the violence, but I do understand self-defense.
Right.
That I will support self-defense every chance I get.
Yes. So, he got a tattoo.
Lord.
So done. It's you, Missy.
That is permanent. So when he come around, I just remind him all the time, like,
you want another one? Just be making offers. No, ma'am.
And so, and he be like, ain't nobody finna do nothing. I'm like, I'm talking about when she get home too. I'll come over there and give you a tattoo too. So don't touch her when she get to the house. So he's working his life out, They still together. They got kids, She ain't leaving. I know she's leaving, but
you said she what?
I know she's not leaving him. I know she because she finds ways to be like, well, he's trying. And I'm like, yep. And you let him know that your friend is the spiritual nutcase that he called me to. I'm going to give him a tattoo. I caught myself.
You from the south side.
Good.
I'm from the south side of heaven. I will give you a tattoo to remind you how to get back home. I don't play that. No.
I don't. Oh, good. The south side of heaven.
I've experienced it. I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. I know how hard it is to finally get
Yes.
you back. I know what that feels like.
Exactly.
From a woman's perspective, I know what it feels like. I can't even imagine as a mother. And so when she started having kids with him, I got a little aggressive. Like, no, I didn't get aggressive.
Got a little vocal. That's what we call that.
I got a little vocal. I
There
got
we
a
go.
little I got a little vocal at high volume. At high volume.
Okay.
Yeah, in Technicolor. I'm trying to find my right words. I got vocal in high volume Technicolor. And yeah, and when I
You
got
have a
vocal in
tattoo.
high volume and Technicolor, that's how he ended up with the tattoo and realized, like, yeah,
And
she's
you
a
have a
nut.
tattoo pen you carry around.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Wait. Repeat it, Douglas. I didn't catch it. What did he say?
I said she's got a tattoo pen that she carries around.
Thank you, Doug.
Oh,
The only
okay. I'm
two
learning so
artists
much from.
organically based tattoos.
Very organic, all natural. All natural. And that's because I've experienced it. I've been in situations like that. I know the fear it is because you don't know what kind of scary movie this is. You just hope that you don't be the person at the end that don't get to the prize. And I hope I'm saying these stuff right.
Listen, it's fine. I understand.
Yeah, I hope y'all can
Okay.
understand where I'm coming from with
Yeah.
it. But I love my friend, but I also love her kids more. And so I let her know, like, I love your kids more than I love you. So
because you guys are adults and y'all making adult
right,
choices.
I'll pass out tattoos real quick because I'm like, damn, Lee, we did this before. We grew up in foster care. We know what abuse and trauma looks like. It's like, are you nuts?
Okay.
Kids can't see this. And so that's my mindset when she started having kids. I think that's why he ended up with a tattoo, because she had a baby. And
all these tattoos. Okay, excuse me.
Yeah.
On that note, Scott, I'm gonna need you to save us right quick so I can have a show next week.
Yes, please, because I don't want to be the one that did it. Like, y'all got a tattoo pen, like Douglas says. Like Doug say, I have a tattoo pen. I don't use it often, but if you decide that you want to do, you want to color and razzle dazzle out the lines, then I'm gonna razzle dazzle with you with my pen.
Do that. We're back in place. We're back in place. We go.
Yes. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Oh, she's the water. Because it wasn't me. Go ahead.
Y'all got to give me the rules on this stuff because I don't know. I
know rules. You're doing fine. All is well.
Okay.
So
we could call it henna. We could call it henna if we really wanted.
Yes. See,
Douglas, you're grounded.
Doug is giving me the words. I appreciate it. Thank you, Doug.
Everybody likes Hannah. Scott, please.
So if I came across somebody in my similar situation, the first thing I would really start out telling them is that they deserve to be happy and they deserve to be at peace.
Absolutely.
And I think that's foundational, because all of the other instruction may go nowhere if someone has already made up their mind that they don't deserve happiness and peace. If they are blaming themselves, if they're in a state that they feel as if they have to earn the peace or chasing the high like a drug addict of the good times with the person they're with, they deserve to have their own happiness and their own peace.
I appreciate that. Mary, I'm going to catch the answer from you, and then I'm going to politely say good day to all you humans while I put you all backstage so I can wrap it up, because we're coming up on our hour, and I just share a couple of things, pay the bills real quick with this, with our ad space, and then share a couple of things about what's coming up and what's happening with DV month and how you guys can help to support survivors. So with that, Miss Mary, who I had a giggle when you said your last name today, because literally y'all call her Mary Conchita Elisa Elisa Veronica Venezuela. That is what I call Mary. So when she said her last name today, I just giggled. Go ahead.
But yeah, before I did seek help, I was in denial for a while. But the questions there were 3 questions that I always asked myself from the time that it started occurring. And it was, how did I get here? What is this person offering? And why am I still staying? And it wasn't until I started slowly seeking for those answers, it just blew up into layers upon layers upon layers upon layers until I got closer to the core. And it all bounced back to me in a sense. But also how I was fighting back, what I needed to do, what tools I needed to implement, and it just kept growing from there.
Okay, hold up, because you said something key. When I was fighting back, what tools I needed to implement? Give me 3.
Tools will be prayer for direction. I always try to take the spiritual route. It has helped me tremendously, just for direction, for strength, for wisdom and discernment.
Sure.
And courage, because my thing was just speaking out loud and defending myself and putting a stop to it. Because I still have to deal with the person. We've come a long way.
And that gaslighting is for real.
Seriously, a long way.
And the killer part is, I only spent 30 seconds in that person's presence, but the spirit speaks loudly.
Yes.
So I'm gonna sit over here and just not know.
I'm like, God, like, show me how to speak up, because when my daughter's father and I, when we sat down and we had a conversation, this was 10 years after everything. He asked me one question, and he said, it was a whole thing, and maybe we can have that conversation another day.
Sure.
But the one question that always stood with me was, why didn't you fight? And I look back and I'm like, that question referred to me fighting for my daughter more than anything. But when he asked me, I received it as a general question. Why didn't you fight? Why didn't you fight for your daughter? Why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you fight for yourself? Why didn't you fight? And I didn't have the answer at first. I just kept it as like, why do I have to fight to have a relationship with my daughter if I've never put you into that predicament? You don't know what this side feels because I never put you in those shoes. But someone had to take the bullet. And I'm glad that it was me, because now I'm fortunate. I feel a little more fortunate. No, I feel fortunate because it has given me the willpower to speak on it, not just on what happened, but also provide women and people the tools that helped me to get through it. And I'm still putting them into practice. There's days where I want to go back, but I'm like, it doesn't make sense to when we made all this progress.
I agree.
You know? So
we're at 2 minutes, so we're going to have to continue this. Oh, wait, say it again.
I do fight, but I mainly fight on my knees.
Okay.
That's my biggest fight. That's my...
And I respect that. So thank you guys super hugely. Yep, me too. Still praying. And continue to pray for one another.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop you guys downstairs. And if you can, hang out for a couple of minutes and I'll meet you guys backstage. So thank you for coming, Lisa. Man, I appreciate you guys. We're going to continue this conversation because there's so much to say.
There's so much to say.
So I think we're going to have to, because it's just so much to say, and we'll pick up from where we left off. If you guys are available next week, let's do it. So,
same day,
same bat time, same bat
channel.
Oh yes, I'm available.
Okay, I'm putting you in the back room right now. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Mary. Okay, and hey, y'all, let me go ahead and pay these bills real quick. Be back.
Smile, don't forget to shine. Remember world holds something for you, so save us, 'cause you know I need you.
I believed that if I tried, I could succeed. It's on my mind. I had a dream when I was 5. I lived a life without no crime. I had no worries about no job. In real life, I keep an eye and gotta fight to get what's mine. They say keep quiet, no, I cannot. Hearing voices in my mind, they tell me shoot before you fire. Say I'm ruthless, but I stupid. Say too much truth up in my rhymes. Remember fighting with my moms, but she made sure I ain't end up fighting for no time. Bring my life, they say it's fire. You won't be free until you die. Gotta read between their lies. Can't be woke and stay quiet. Can't hope and not try. I was blinded by their fears till I opened my eyes. Don't be feeling like you Jesus, 'cause you died for these guys. I was focused on the money, now I'm trying to stay alive. Only give you bro roses when you see your homie die. Spread love instead of hate, you feel the pain in every line. Better watch how you live, 'cause how you live is how you die.
Save us, 'cause you know, yeah, you know, oh, that this world holds something for you, so save us, 'cause you know I need you. Save us, 'cause you know, yeah, you know, oh, that this world holds something for you, so save us, 'cause you know I need you. Don't think you're lost, you're where you need to be. Keep your head held high, be all that you can see. When you look around, you'll question what you see. You question what you believe. Tell yourself, I am me. Behold who you are, who you really are. Behold what you can be, who you are to me. They'll tell you who you are, then they'll tell you how far you can go, but you can go, but.
Awesome. That was a Benny with OG Jimmy. So a Benny with OG Jimmy, and the title of the piece is Save Us. That was absolutely beautiful. I'm probably going to use it next week too, just so I can enjoy it again. You guys, if you are an artist and you're looking for exposure, connect with BLASTMUSIC247.com and subscribe, become members, you guys. Not only can you access an incredible amount of content, you can also choose to share as an artist. And again, if you're looking for a podcast home, BLASTMUSIC247 is definitely the place to be. It's beautiful around here, an incredible, warm-hearted family. I've been welcomed well, to say the least. All right, so I also wanted to take time to share with you guys what a great conversation we had about domestic violence awareness, domestic abuse, we're going to say it for what it is, and solutions. So speaking of solutions, this is what I want to share with you guys for a quick second as well, and have a quick chat about it. So short version is, we'll pop it one more time so you can screenshot real quick if you need to. La, 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 la. Awesome. So you'll see at the top corner is What the Duck. What the Duck is some fun mischief that I got into, and I stay into some mischief, I really do. But it's all good mischief mostly. What the Duck is a simple digital book that was created as a thank you for folks who are willing to donate $25 and more to SXP Sanctuary Experience and help us to help 4 families who are survivors of domestic violence. We like to put some food in the fridge and on the table, y'all. We like to keep some lights on in the house. We like to provide some gas money so folks can get to and from work, and then also pay for internet bills for those who work from home and need the internet to keep income coming in. Y'all may or may not know how hard it is to get out, and to get out with the clothes on your back, because that was my story, with the clothes on my back and my kids. That was it. That was it. And then after 6 months of being hidden, like straight up in hiding, I was able to emerge, right? And start building life over from the question mark. Those question marks are huge. And with our help we can make them a little bit smaller. So please, oh please, oh please have a heart to share. I will share with you my cash tag. My cash tag is Melikia C. How do you spell that? That's a very interesting name. Yes, I know. melikiac@gmail.com. Melikia. I'm tripping. That's y'all don't pay no attention to the Gmail I just gave you. That's a whole email right quick. Nay. Cash tag is Melikia C. There we go. It's nap time. La la la. Melikia C is a cash tag if you need a Zelle option to donate. And I encourage you guys, donate the 25. You'll get your digital book. It is full of ducks because I want everyone to give a duck about domestic violence. And for those who ran out of ducks and the other rhyming word, I'm making sure you re-up and you have enough so you can give a duck about domestic violence. So, told you I stay in mission. And $25 or more, you are welcome to donate more. Yes, you, yes, you, yes, you are. If we exceed our goal, then we can help 5 families. So how about that? Wouldn't it be wonderful to help more? We do have our fundraiser coming up for December 2. That is the Dunkin' Donut cards. We do $5 gift cards so that folks who are living outside in the cold, and for y'all who from Chicago like I am, you know how cold it is in Chicago. You know how cold it is in the winter to be sitting outside, and sometimes something as simple as a hot cup of coffee and a donut is helping to sustain a life. I think we can do that. I think we can do $5 flat out. So keep that in mind for December. We'll be back on that topic then. But for now, we're focusing on DV. And for $25 or more, you will get the digital book sent to you. Communicate with me on all of that, and I'll get that to you. If you don't have $25, understand that you want to do something. That's fine. Like, help as you can. Okay, I think I've shared it with you everything that I need to share so far. Thank you again, BLASTMUSIC247. Love y'all. And then meet us back here Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys see this is like, you can see that the conversation is just like tip on tip on tip on tip. This is a growth podcast. If you are listening and you are note taking, whether it's mental note or physical, you will grow. All right, so I encourage you to do that. Meet us back here to continue this conversation with all of the guests who are here, whoever's available next Tuesday, because I do want to get into the stories of things. Like, you're hearing bits and pieces, but I'd like to get a beginning point, a middle point, an end point, and a now, just so that we have a full picture and that you fully understand there is life after leaving. There is life after leaving for those who choose to stay. A lot of women, a lot of men, financially, they're dependent upon that partner. And that partner is running around thinking that because they have the gold, they make the rules. They are magically God suddenly because they have money. Heck, no, we know that's retarded. Not the way to go. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so there's more to talk about. That's the point. All right. On the note, I am Melikia K. Courtney. And if I didn't say that, hey, y'all, I'm Melikia K. Courtney. That's exactly who I am. And if you'd like to know more about me, connect with me on LinkedIn. Instagram is Santa's Helper, though. But Facebook is definitely Melikia K. Courtney. So let's have some conversation. Santa's Helper is spelled SANTAZHELPR because, again, I got jokes. We'll talk about a lot more things next week. There's many offerings still in the water. If you have yet to attend Sensual Experience, a 3-day Florida for the women, what are you waiting on? I love people back to life. And if you know you need that coaching, you know you need that accountability, you need that group, you need that pop-up sis, contact me quickly. Bye, y'all. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. That's why I need my adult in the chair. My adult does all these wonderful things.